Prime Minister says public services needs overhaul. Connecting roads for vital projects. And survey conducted on displaced Manam Islanders.
This is National EMTV News with Helen Sayre.
Good evening and thanks for joining us for Monday's news. Prime Minister James Marapa says the public service needs an overhaul. PM Marapa said in the last 46 years, many have seen the failures and success of the public service. The Prime Minister said politicians have eroded functions of the public service. Here is part of the Prime Minister's speech from an event the media was barred from at the APEC House this morning.
And so in conclusion, let me say, let's isolate politicians from the appointment of public service and strengthen the merit-based appointment process. Let's augment the performance of agency heads and hold them to an annual accountability, expressed in respect to finance and human resource management. Let's strengthen the integrity systems in our public service. And Mr. AG, I am proposing to you, we look at ICAC to make it work and functional. Look at the proceeds of crime, strengthen that. You look at the Whistleblowers Act, strengthen that. And I just want to ask you, before I go to the elections in April, I want to deliver the Undisclosed Wealth Act. To bring in, so if a public servant or a politician has 10 cars, the taxman has every right to ask you, where did you get these 10 cars from?
3 vital roads linking Hela, Southern Highlands and Enga provinces are expected to be sealed before the start of the 2022 national elections. Over 400 million kina funding approved for these roadworks have been released by the national government, and work is continuing on the respective roads. Once sealed, it will be the first time since independence for the sealed roads to connect villages where PNG's multi-billion kina projects are located.
The 3 road links in Hela will connect Ambua in Komo-Magarima district to Mendi in Southern Highlands at 400 million kina. 10 million kina for Hiri in Komo-Magarima to link up Lai in Southern Highlands, and Magarima Station to Kandep Station in Enga province at 10 million kina. These 3 road links are part of the Connect PNG program under the Pangu Party's road improvement policy.
This is a work, this is an important project, maski all Hela by benefit. But this is a program, this is a service, and plenty time people line long Magarima by benefit. Am true or not? Me staff member Bloibla long 2017. 2 year me go join him. PNC government. Na mean dry staff. No got looks away, no got money. Me no make it work long 2 year. Am true or not? This last that's all me go, me fight hard lo changing government. Na Prime Minister James Marapa am going to check my Prime Minister. This contracts, lo this impact projects, lo road ceiling. Long Ambua Nipa Hiri Lai na Kandep Magarima rural verification. Come and need leadership lo mipla yumi party man.
Road access in the Hela province has either been non-existent or unusable by vehicles for decades due to the lack of road maintenance and poor road conditions. Only recently, roadworks have been conducted at different sections of the Highlands Highway, especially in Hela province, to build road networks.
Now, me like look, machine must on this road. Now, me asking Works Department, thank you, Deputy Secretary Jason, you have staff. Jason, please. Put him on like independent engineering company, you know, Muscular Works Department. Kisimol, Kanasem, Australia company, SMEC or Krama Asenko, 1+1+. Work one time or constructor, na me like look him. Almost seal him road in a play. Bear him good, na seal him good. Sabos lik money or work him lick. I'd rather have 5 kilometers of good road than 20 kilometers of bad road. And first floor road, ceiling floor, power, oil, and gas, and you make him good. So me ask him, Works Department, finding one by independent engineering company, lo come, lo work one time, na assess him work, scale him work good, so that from Koropa, Kopiago, come go finish lo mendi, all this power, oil, and gas, Karem oil, and gas since 1990, all to, you can right, lo run, lo kolta, na run, lo good lo road, so me like this lo good lo road, must come up. Now you may supervise him good. Am I right or no God?
With the linking up of the Hela section of the Highlands Highway, thousands, if not millions of people will now benefit from this investment. And the creation of these new road links will cut down travel time, and locals can finally enjoy a smooth ride when the ceiling is completed. Thekla Jogo, National EMTV News.
Mothers in Como say the establishment of Como Junior High School marks a solid foundation in Como Madi community after years of tribal fights. The new education institute is designed to improve the education standard in Como Magarima district, where the multi-billion Kina LNG project is located.
Located inside the Como Madi Catholic Station, the new high school, registered as St. Paul Junior High, will be taken in grades 9 starting this academic year. The new classroom facilities are built less than 100 meters away from the existing primary school, which was once closed for 10 years due to continuous tribal fighting.
Mi plasaga fight, tribal fight, or get a kind of something come up. Na grand guru to come up, but mi plus still stable. Na at last time, mi black seems to have talks about some placed by mi black at high school. So mi black pray first read them, or get a monkeys a fight, all losing fight. Na then all play na. Place come up change liglig. Bien this land of Islam. Mi black sim this la talk high school bakama. So mi black master.
Como Magarima district houses an important resource generating revenue for Papua New Guinea, the PNG LNG project. But the living standards of rural communities and academic performances of schools in Hela do not reflect the millions of kina generated from the gas project. Only recently in 2021, Hela made history when it sent 10 of its top students to tertiary institutions in other parts of the country. This improvement in education leans towards the establishment of several new high schools and TVET centers in the province.
Look, Simsland High School, Eminusakama, it is Usud Inspector Stable here, any man you miss over. To get one high school, it will take you 3 or 4 years, or even 5 years. But we must talk, thank you, long leadership, long Prime Minister, because you got this leadership. We must thank you, long Governor Undialu, because I think through long this bridge blow to blah, through long this houseman blow pangu you may got. You may register him this year, that's all. Those 16 high schools with 3 TVETs. You may get it endorsed by TSC display year, that's all.
13th of January 2022, 20 starting grade 9.
Officiating at the launch of the new high school, Prime Minister James Marapa says the Pangu-led government is serious about quality education and encouraged all parents to send their children to school.
Now, me like put a message to the rest of our country, including Gibraltar, line Plomilo Como, holding education one time to plan. No can talk and work for government as well. Government Bakarem Kappa, nail, tisa, book, pen, na come here. You play you, look at him school, na punish him school. Look at him sumatin.
Additional support pledged towards the new high school include the donation of a Toyota Land Cruiser by the Hela provincial government.
For the invitation that you gave me, the opportunity to join this community, I want to offer that ExxonMobil looks forward to donating a science lab to this school this year. And ExxonMobil also looks forward to donating school uniforms to all of the children in this school and the teachers that support it.
With the opening of this new school set to start classes this February, talks are already in place to introduce grades 11 and 12 in the next 2 years. Thekla Jogo, National EMTV News.
The Manam Resettlement Authority is carrying out an assessment on communities in the care centres impacted by volcano eruptions. The survey, which began in December last year, will extend to other care centres in the coming days. The survey looks at the lives of the people before and after the eruptions and how they can be assisted.
In the last 3 weeks, Manam Resettlement Authority conducted a survey on the internally displaced community. According to the team leader, there is no accurate figure on the total population of volcano-impacted communities. A household survey was done to at least get an 80 to 90% accuracy of the total population. But this would be achieved once the household survey in the other care centers are completed.
SIA survey is really looking at people's lives. What were they like before the volcano eruption? Sidon Blongol Hosemonem. At the same time, there is a lot of talk about population figures. Some say among all the care centers there are 15,000 people, others say 17,000, still others say 20,000. Nobody's got an accurate figure at this stage.
The survey would also give a picture of how people are living, especially in the care centers. The assessment identified that most displaced islanders are living in makeshift houses as there are no housing materials to build new houses. Furthermore, the plantations they are living in are depleted land.
Most people have no idea how people are living. Houses belong all, most of them they're living in makeshift houses simply because there is no material to do the houses. The plantations they're living in, it's all depleted. Ground in Ogudblong Groim Kaikai. So as much as possible, they need to resettle them.
Overcrowding of families is another issue as the population increases. Most adult children that are married are also living in the same house with their parents. This is because of the unavailability of housing materials. Most adult children cannot build their own dwellings. Another biggest concern is land. There is not enough land to do gardening.
First settlers in Mangam that came in 2004 had a bigger portion of land. Others that came after 2004 have been really marginalized in terms of land mass is concerned. So there's hardly any room for gardening. They just try and garden in the same area. So those are the two obvious reasons. And the third reason, obviously, population boom. Smaller families came in 2004. Now you got huge families.
Wambare says law and order in the care center has become a worry. He adds, people are encroaching on the host community's land, creating a lot of friction and infighting.
The law and order problems. Population is growing. There is very little land. People are encroaching on land among host communities, and there is a lot of friction and infighting in the community. So that has to be done quickly to fast track so that host communities will also enjoy their lives.
Thus, it is important that the national government fast track the resettlement exercise. Martha Lewis, National EMTV News, Madang.
You're watching National EMTV News. We'll have more stories after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Manam Islanders living in Mangim Care Centre say the PNG government is slow to address their plight after so many years, but is quick to issue documents for national identification. They say the government has failed to provide basic services such as water, schools and health facilities. The displaced islanders have been living in the care centres since 2004.
Displaced islanders at Mangim Care Centre on the North Coast Road of Sumcar District say the government is too slow to resettle them. They have been living in the care centre since their evacuation during the major eruptions of late 2004 into early 2005. This is the 18th year, and land is becoming scarce. Food and water is a daily struggle. Building materials to replace old frames is limited as population increases.
Government is a so smart government of Papua New Guinea. He arrived with the NID, but where are the services we prepared for NID by staff knowledge? That's the great failure the government of the day is doing towards the Manam people. With the NIDs, he's doing it faster than the resettlement.
The displaced communities say the issuance of the NID to the displaced islanders is injustice to the internally displaced islanders. They say there are no resources. Even basic government services in the care center are lacking and questions the use of NID.
Kan something also lo NID, government isi through area through na, come inside lo giving, but lo sad lo relief lo look lo mipla sit down lo mipla, government emi fail mipla here.
The PNG Civil and Identity Registry Mobile Operations Team, together with officers from Manam Resettlement Authority, visited the care center to give their NIDs. The team had been working with the displaced community for 3 weeks to process their identification documents.
Before no, you access one kind of basic service no government or company or one kind of institutions. You must get an ID before no. You access these services.
The Manam Resettlement Authority has also included the Social Impact Assessment Survey of volcanic impact communities, especially the care centers. The survey looked at the displaced communities' lives before and after the eruption. It would also help in fast-tracking the resettlement exercise. The names registered under the PNG Civil and Identity Registry are the same names registered on the Social Impact Assessment.
SIA survey is really looking at people's lives, what were they like before the volcanic eruption. Sidon Blong Hosemonem.
4 village chiefs representing the 4 villages in Mangem Care Center received the national identity document from the offices. Martha Louise, National EMTV News, Medang.
A community in the Lower Bena in Eastern Highlands area is making progress with coffee farming. They built a wet coffee house and invited Governor Peter Numu to open the building recently. The Makia community say working together will improve their living.
Makia community established a coffee cooperative with the aim of improving their living. With coffee a common commodity in the area, they believe farming this crop will sustain their livelihood. The cooperative chairman says working together is the way forward for them.
Road ploy or bush place mi pla kisim tripla pinis. Now ya mi pla gatim big pla tintin logenia mi pla like ronim. Wara ba eximo kata hap next plan power ba guanta power guanta mi pla lulu ko good pla house. Time desa plan pinis na mi pla lulu ko puti mangi ko good school na. Mi pla lukimo sem.
Eastern Highlands Governor Peter Numu said the provincial government is at hand to support communities. He said the coffee industry is growing with better price for small farmers. Numu said the cooperative will receive financial support and must continue their good work.
Backbone blow you mean coffee and strength blow so me come lo strong him you blow this plus strength blow na you must go forward. Because money stuff inside of coffee. Without money you cannot achieve your vision. All across Bamipla put in 20,000, all get a coffee SME inside the province. All get a cooperatives, Bamipla giving 50,000.
Governor Numu added that the provincial government will continue to build roads into Makia community. He says this is important for other services into the area.
So you put him all get a thing go inside, you got go good road by good road. You play go no good road and by go no good road. Depend you all get the members of this cooperative.
The wet coffee house was opened by Governor Numu, witnessed by locals and other stakeholders. Jack Power Jr., National EMTV News.
With the aim of providing a happy, healthy and wealthy society, Marapa District Development Authority has bought 30 iron rolls and machines to produce roofing iron. The plan is to supply roofing iron free of charge to 1,000 families by the end of 2022.
Thank you.
Marapa District Development Authority, with the leadership of the current MP and Minister for Agriculture, John Simon, is on a mission to replace all sago thatch roofs in the district. After months of waiting, the machines for producing roofing iron has arrived from China. The district had spent about 300,000 kina for 2 machines. Another 30,000 kina was spent on purchasing 30 iron rolls. Once roofing irons are cut, each family in the district will receive 24 sheets free of charge.
Kapa I'm free, but I'm giving you free. You know not buying. You know not buying 10 kina. You know not buying 1 money. Kissing free na go.
The 30 rolls of iron will provide roofing irons to about 300 families. Marapa DDA said once the 30 roll runs out, they will purchase more. They are targeting 1,000 families by the end of 2022.
Problem la you, sanabim house. You sanabim house finish, come talk sawe, mibla salim online go check him house play you. House he finish, mibla lagi at least 1 family, mibla give him 24 plus seat, na 12 foot kapa. Karam go walk him house. Sleep la house, ta you sleep pass him over my, you think him chehes the soul. No more wasting time.
Minister Simon said this will be an ongoing project and the district will continue to provide free roofing irons to families in the district. And with the new buying point, cocoa, coffee and vanilla farmers can get a better price and start building the foundations of their homes to get the free roofing irons. This is part of the district's plan to create a happy, healthy, wealthy and an educated society. Shamin Poreambab, National EMTV News, Marpa.
The Marapa Liquor Licensing Board has sent 25 alcohol products to testing at the University of Technology following public concerns relating to these products. The Marapa Provincial Emergency Operations Committee, in a letter to the Provincial Administrator last year, had requested a ban on cheap alcohol to control social problems. The board responded by sending a list of products to Unitec for testing in October last year.
The products sent in for testing are mainly trade wings and Vitis products and are labeled by the general public as cheap alcohol products that have a very high percentage of alcohol. The Deputy Chairman of the Liquor Licensing Board, Seth Daniels, said the manufacturing of these products does not involve the Marapa Provincial Liquor Licensing Office. His concern is that these products target a vulnerable population and the manufacturers are capitalizing on bad drinking habits of low-income earners and the negligence of the government to properly regulate these products before they are placed on the shelves.
It's the target of these manufacturers or the people that are making these cheap products are targeting a very special market. And that is the danger. Because when you look at the other, say the SP products and the other products that has gone through the process of being approved, you will find that there are stringent or process or regulations that must be conformed with.
The Marapa Provincial Emergency Operations Committee had requested a ban on some of these products following an increase in social problems during the COVID-19 pandemic last year. The Liquor Licensing Board in October last year responded by sending 25 products to the University of Technology for testing. The board is yet to receive the results. Mr. Daniel says another issue that the board is facing is limited powers to effectively address alcohol-related issues.
The laws that we have does not have the powers to scrutinize or look at it. That is why I can't tell you if these cheap products are properly being licensed, properly been the manufacturers have been given a license to manufacture. I'm not sure whether in that manufacturing process.
The board will send a submission to the Provincial Executive Council once they get the results. It will be then up to the PEC to decide whether or not to ban these products. Charlene Airy, National EMTV News, Leh.
Additional services are now available at the Waigani fuel station that was opened today after 3 months of renovation work. This includes faster modern fuel pumps and the upgraded convenience store where sale of gas is also available. It will serve people in the Mosby Northwest electorate and is one of 100 service stations selected to undergo Puma's SME partnership with local business owners. The opening of this service station is the first for Puma Energy in 2022. And Puma Country General Manager Hulala Tokome said the station was upgraded using Puma's latest global standards. Similar renovation work is conducted at selected Puma stations in other provinces. And now looking at the NASFund market report, the Kina closed unchanged at $0.2850 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your Kina is buying $0.2775 US, $0.3808 Australian dollars, $0.4042 New Zealand dollars, and 31.11 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold is trading higher, coffee closed higher, cocoa and copper closed lower. Crude oil is trading higher, palm oil closed lower, and copper closed lower. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed lower, the ASX 200 is trading lower, and the All Ordinaries is trading lower. National EMTV News continues with more stories after these short messages. Stay with us. Welcome back to the news. The National Control Centre has approved booster shots for the COVID-19 vaccines. Controller of the National COVID-19 Pandemic Response, David Manning, issued a statement this afternoon following advice from the country's Medical and Science Advisory Committee.
The first undertaken by the National Control Centre in 2022 approving the use of the booster jab. It comes after deliberation of the country's brains in science and medicine following the international best practice. The country's head of response issued the directive through a statement of approval. This means that those who receive the one-dose Johnson & Johnson vaccine should receive another of the same 2 to 6 months later. For the 2-dose AstraZeneca vaccine, they can receive the same vaccine or Johnson & Johnson booster dose 6 months afterwards. For the 2-shot Chinese Sinopharm, people can get the AstraZeneca or Johnson & Johnson vaccine 3 to 6 months later. Dr. Downey Esserom, second in charge of the response prior to the new year, predicted case numbers to rise towards the end of this month until March due to the increased movements during the festive holidays. All that while the country is still yet to register a known case of the new variant Omicron and initial vaccine numbers remain low. The new variant is perhaps one of the main driving factors behind the need for boosters. Given months past since many have been vaccinated, research have shown another jab is a must against the contagious variants. Podivai, National EMTV News.
You're watching National EMTV News. Up next, some sporting updates in Trukai Sports. Stay tuned for the details.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. PNG Hunters prop forward Dilbert Isaac is preparing well for the 2022 season of the Hot Plus Cup. Dilbert has been tasked to help the young players and the forwards in preparation towards this season. The prop forward from Chimbu missed out in the Hunters in 2020 due to illness, but has since returned in 2021 to join the Hunters.
Dilbert Isaac is looking fit and healthy. Hard to believe that in 2020, the big prop forward from Chimbu province was sidelined for a year due to spinal tuberculosis.
X-ray bloom, spine bloom been cloudy lik so all talking me rest, so me rest one player. So me go back and me completing school. Then after that year, me feel right, so me call back and call all doctors to me now. You can start training this line, so yeah. Me come back and start training with the bypass now, yeah, me call up again.
Dilbert was called back into the Hunters in 2021 while playing for the Port Moresby Vipers in the Digicel Cup. He made 4 appearances in the Hunters colours last season and says training has been good and he feels he is in good shape.
For the training, I'm go right straight. Me too losing some weight. At least now me stop good weight, good fitness, yeah. So far, yeah, everything just come in line. When I say me expect him, like all goals me set him to him, just work one time. So yeah, me looking forward to start the season or trial match for me, yeah.
With seasoned prop Enoch Maki leaving the Hunters, the talent coming in is not short in supply. Dilbert, now considered one of the senior players, is impressed with the size and skill of the new forwards. He added that the team is settling in well with training.
The heights, yeah, besides to come, so yeah, plus 2 more young, so more agile. Plenty of, yeah, so me look forward to work one time so far training sessions for me and all work putting competition with me senior boys too, so yeah, it's like very challenging too now me stuff, so yeah.
Dilbert is impressed with the coaching staff as well and praised the inclusion of Paul Aiton and Stanley Teppen as part of the Hunters coaching staff.
Teppen I've been coaching me 2017 PM studying too, I'm no me, but I'm local competition I'm very experienced I'm got plenty of yeah, something like me blah where me blah told boys me blah angry line him with one coaching blame to involvement blame team to some kind of boost to team, especially or some training technique wise line.
Fidelis Sukina, Trukai Sports.
PNG Rugby Union has recently released their 2022 calendar, providing a full overview of upcoming events and competitions that the national body has scheduled.
PNG Rugby Union President Paul Siwi and his board are on a mission to bring the code to the forefront of the sporting landscape in the country. The release of the PNGRU calendar recently provides an overview of events and competitions that the national body has planned for its member unions around the country and for the men's and women's representative teams. Siwi stated that the PNGRU wants to put the lull over the past 2 years behind them and to build a lasting legacy for the code of rugby. A major step forward would be the eventual transformation of PNGRU from being a volunteer-oriented organization to a professional entity. This major overhaul in the way rugby is run and governed in the country will be better equipped to deliver development outcomes and programs, meeting the goals and aspirations of all stakeholders in the code of rugby union. Huxley Lovai, Trukai Sports.